To other news, an Air India Express flight carrying more than 180 passengers from Kano to Jeddah returned to its departure airport after the pilots detected a technical issue mid-air. The flight had taken off from Kano airport at around 7:40 a.m. and was en route Jeddah when the crew identified the problem and decided to turn back as a precaution. The aircraft landed safely at Kano and all passengers are reported to be safe. Atul is joining us on this. Atul, what malfunction was reported in this Air India Express flight leading to its return, and how long did the deboarding process take for all the passengers on board?
Well, first off, this was a Kano flight, going to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, but and this was early morning flight, a 7:40 a.m. flight. But soon after, maybe around 2 hours after taking off, the flight encountered an engine warning, is what we're given to understand. In fact, the crew members noticed a red light in the cockpit, which indicated some sort of engine warning. Post which a call was taken to return back to Kano rather than completing the journey to Jeddah. And now what we're given to understand is that after landing, the initial investigation of the aircraft indicates that there was some issue with a fuel filter, is what we're given to understand. That may have caused that engine warning indication that ultimately forced the pilots to head back to Kano. Now, since it was an international flight, obviously the flight had excess fuel. So, as a precautionary measure, the pilots decided to keep the flight on, in air for several minutes, I would say, not hours, and then they ultimately, after burning some fuel, they decided to, land back in Kano, which ultimately landed safely. The flight landed safely, and then people were immediately evacuated. What we're given to understand is that all the passengers have been safely evacuated. They have been served refreshments, and an alternate arrangement of a different aircraft is being made to complete their journey to Jeddah.
All right. Atul, during inspection pre-flight, were these glitches not reported?
Well, not really. I mean, the technical snag that we are reporting emerged after the flight took off, and that is when, as I mentioned earlier, the crew members noticed an engine warning indication showing up in the cockpit, and that is when the alert was sounded, and they decided to head back. Prior to the flight, obviously, that usual technical inspection of the flight was done, and it was cleared, post which it took off for Jeddah, but back then it wasn't identified. This is a problem. This technical snag is something which came up during the flight, during the mid-journey, and that is when 2 hours into the journey they decided to head back to Kano.
Right, Atul, thank you for joining. And now viewers are moving ahead.